What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bed Wars. Today, we are going to be talking about the most recent Bed Wars update, which is a very controversial update in the community. A lot of Bed Wars players are up in arms about it, so I'm just going to give an overview of it and my thoughts on it. Also, the gameplay that's recorded is not live. Look, no hands. I mean, you can believe it's live, just know that I'm playing with my toes. So what is the update? Let's go over it. Hypixel made it so that every name in the pregame lobby is obfuscated, or let's just say hidden. Why use big words when you don't have to? So that as you are joining a game, you can't see the name of anyone in the game with you. Once the game starts, of course, then you can see the names, but it's just in that pregame lobby as the game is starting, you cannot see who's in the game with you. Now, if you're at home thinking, hasn't Hypixel done this before? I feel like I remember playing Bed Wars and the names being hidden. That is because Hypixel has done this before, but only in Hypixel tournaments and also the duels games, but who plays duels? So if you've played in any Bed Wars tournaments on Hypixel, names are hidden, so you can't Q dodge. This, however, has not been added to regular Bed Wars until yesterday. At the time I'm recording this, I think by the time you're seeing this 2 days ago, or if you're watching way in the future, then way in the past. In my opinion, this impacts quite a bit. You might be thinking, this doesn't impact the game at all, it just means you can't see who's in the game with you in the pregame lobby. But for a lot of people, this is a big change, mostly because it makes it impossible to Q dodge. If you don't know what Q dodging is, it's when you look at the people in the pregame lobby with you and you decide whether you should stay in that game or leave for a different lobby that might give you an easier time. And why do people do this? There's a few different reasons why people Q dodge. Put it simply, a broad overview is just to avoid players that you don't want to go up against. Now, way back in the day when I grinded stars and stats, when the lobbies would fill up, it would mostly be nons that don't know how to play the game, but every once in a while, I'd see a friend or another Bed Wars sweat in the queue, and one of us would always be like, you can have the lobby, man. I'll head to a different one. You stay here. And pretty much whoever stayed gets just a free win because it's all nons. And then that way the two really good players don't have to go up against each other. Play the game. And it's not always just friends or just like one sweat that you're avoiding. A lot of times it's just games that look overall too sweaty. So if you see a bunch of people down the tab list with MVP++ and Cloaks and names like XX PvP God XX, a lot of times it's like, should I even play this game? I could probably finish 3 games in the 15 minutes it's going to take to complete this one game. So that's why some people will Q dodge. They'll hop into a different game that won't have all of those types of people, and they'll try to find an easier queue. And then the final reason, I might be forgetting one. If I am, please let me know in the comments. It's very useful in avoiding cheaters. So cheaters, obviously a problem on Hypixel. I hear that all the time, and I kind of agree. I see cheaters way too often. But say someone B-hops on you, and you queue into another game. Normally, at least what I would do, is I pay attention to the IGN, and if I see them in another lobby, I'm out. I don't want to get B-hopped on again, so I'm going to a new lobby. Now that this is hidden, there's a chance you lose the game to a cheater, and you join another game. They could just be in that lobby with you, giving you another auto loss. So your only choices are, do I risk joining, where I might join a game that is impossible to win? Or do I take a break from the game and just not play for a while, which I'm guessing Hypixel doesn't want you not playing the game. They'd prefer if you kept playing. So with that point, hopefully we all can agree that Q dodging can be useful. It's not always for just trying to get an easier game. Now, if you're still thinking, after hearing the reasons why people Q dodge, oh, that's not that big of a deal, people shouldn't make a big fuss about it, let me just remind you how impactful Q dodging has been to Bed Wars in content creation. The massive Bed Wars win streaks video that you've probably all seen, let's be real, we've all seen them, are some of the most popular pieces of Bed Wars content ever, and those would not be possible without hours upon hours of Q dodging. And with this update, it is next to impossible to get a win streak like that again. So now let's talk about why do I think Hypixel did this. We should start off by noticing that it is 7 years since Bed Wars came out. Why did Hypixel do this now? No idea. It feels like a really weird thing to come out in 2024 to take away names in the pregame lobby. But at this point, I feel like Hypixel shouldn't have made this change. It just seems like a weird thing to do now. Let's take a trip back in memory lane. I don't know if you guys played. I played day one Bed Wars came out. I didn't start grinding until later that year, but I played day one that Bed Wars came out. And you used to be able to see stars in front of everyone's name in the pregame lobby. I'll try to find a screenshot of it. It might be hard, but in the pregame lobby, you would see star and then the name. So I remember playing on day 1 and being like a 2-star, and then seeing someone that's like 5 and go, wow, you're already 5 stars, that's crazy. And pretty quickly after Bed Wars came out, they realized maybe you shouldn't have any info on your opponent going into the game. So they took away stars in front of the name. I feel like shortly after that would have been a good time to hide names in the pregame lobby too. But no, they waited 7 years to do this. Now, as to why they did it, I feel like they did it to benefit the player base. I don't think they did it out of spite, like, oh, these Bed Wars sweats, let's get them. But I don't think that this actually benefits the player base. I think Hypixel just might not know how big of an impact this is going to make. If you look at it in a positive light, it's harder to get sniped by people. You know, content creators or prominent people in the community sometimes get sniped. People are queuing over and over and over to hopefully find that specific person in the queue, and then they'll stay and target them. You can't really do that anymore, so you can avoid snipers. But also remember that now you can't avoid snipers. Like, if you know the name of a sniper, you can't avoid them in the game. So, like, is the trade-off worth it? I don't know. Another thing that I think Hypixel may have been trying to combat is there's a popular mod that I know a lot of people use that generates the stats of all players in your queue. I've never used it, but I've heard people that use it talk about it, and pretty much as you're waiting in the pregame lobby, it just generates, you know, FKDR, win-loss, stars, probably something else, of everyone in the queue, so you can like see, hey, this guy is 1200 star, 57 FKDR. Maybe we don't want to stay. They're probably pretty good. And I also know that it is definitely not allowed, so Hypixel may just be combating the usage of that, because I don't think that mod is going to work anymore now that all the names in the pregame lobby are hidden. And this may have been Hypixel's easiest way of combating that, because I don't think the server can detect people using that mod, because it's just some text that pops up in chat. I don't think Hypixel has a way of being like, oh, look at what they're using, let's get them. But I could be wrong about that. Again, please correct me in the comments. I'm sure you will. So in conclusion, I do sympathize with all the people complaining about this update. And if I was still grinding for stars and grinding for stats, I would probably be complaining more about this update. It's not a big deal for me anymore because I'm not grinding Bed Wars. But this change is actually, I would say, a bigger change than the entire Slumber Hotel update. Slumber Hotel is just extra quests you can do in a Bed Wars game. This impacts how a lot of people are going to be playing Bed Wars. If you ever watch my videos and I include footage of me in the pregame lobby, you can probably see that I'm always pressing tab over and over and over to see who's in my queues. And it's just a habit I formed from my days grinding Bed Wars. I'm like always spamming tab to monitor who's in my game. And going forward, even though I can't see any of the names in the pregame lobby, I'm probably still going to be pressing tab over and over and over just because of this habit that I formed. And do I think Hypixel is going to revert the change at all? I would say no. Hypixel has made a lot of controversial updates in the past, and they have pretty much been like, here's the update, like it or not, it's staying. In my experience, they're a little blind to player feedback, but I guess we'll have to see if it gets reverted or not. But that being said, I do know quite a few people that have said positive things about this update, like finally the Q dodgers can't do anything, and to that, I understand both arguments to this. I am more for allow Q dodging if people want to do it, but I get people being like, that shouldn't be a thing you can do. So please give me your thoughts in the comments below, and hopefully you enjoyed this post commentary video. I don't do these very often. Generally, I like to commentate as I'm playing Bed Wars, but I thought for this one, I even wrote out some bullet points. You probably saw me reading it. So let me know if you enjoyed this. And of course, leave your comments below, letting me know how you feel about the update. And we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.